what the title is going to be. But what I will say is I guess the question is, was Austin Hatfield's performance in 26.1 disappointing? And I don't necessarily think it is. So for the Austin Hatfield lovers, I'll give you an explanation as to why. And for the Austin Hatfield haters, I'm sorry. And this will all tie into the Mayhem Classic in 2025. So this goes back about a year. But during the Mayhem Classic, what we ended up seeing was Hatfield in event one. It was the feed sack squat workout. I believe it was 3 rounds, 800-meter run, 20 burpee box jump overs over tall boxes, and then we had 40 feed sack squats. And those feed sack squats were devastating for people. They were very difficult. They blew up the legs. They made the run harder. They made the burpees harder. And they really set up for a very fatiguing weekend for everyone. I believe they had to do Isabel right after that, which is definitely tough. The legs were not fully recovered for a lot of the athletes, and you saw that in the performances. So anyways, with that being said, Hatfield had a crazy performance in that workout. He ended up getting, on his final round of feed sack squats, he did his last 40 feed sack squats in 58 seconds, and that is 1.45 seconds per rep. And then we saw Hopper do his 40 feed sack squats in 71 seconds, which is 1.77 reps per second. And if we take a look at the numbers here, that means that Austin Hatfield did his squats 22.4% faster. And when you go 22.4% faster than the fittest man on earth, Jason Hopper, you're probably, during the off season, not gonna be training high volume squats as often, if any, right? Austin Hatfield is probably working on upper body endurance and high skill pulling when it comes to his weaknesses during the off season. Compared to Hopper, he took an early off season, and didn't compete at the World Fitness Finals to work on weaknesses and to heal up the body going into the 2026 season. I can almost guarantee you that he's continued to work on squat speed as he did throughout the entire 2025 season with Coach L. I tried to find this Instagram post that I remember Coach L making with Hopper, where he was talking about specifically working on squat speed and squat endurance for Metcons, and I couldn't find it. Coach L ended up not deleting his Instagram, but I think turning it off or something, and so we don't have that post, but that was something that they worked on throughout the 2025 season after Mayhem Classic. And so, you know, you see Hopper train this throughout the 2025 season, take off World Fitness Finals so that he could train for the 2026 CrossFit Games season. I can almost guarantee you he's still working on squat speed because he still hasn't caught up to Mertens or Hatfield on that, and they're going to continue to work on the lowest hanging fruit, and that is definitely one of them, right? He's not going to be working on pegboard climbs when he won that event at the games this year, and he showed a dominant performance on slippery pegboards. So with that being said, I don't necessarily think it is Hatfield is washed because he's dating Haley Adams or something like that. What I think it is that during the off season, Hatfield probably isn't squatting a whole lot, and Hopper is squatting a whole lot during the off season, and he's working and making improvements on that, while Hatfield is probably working on other weaknesses. And so during the off season, still, I would still deem this the off season. They're probably starting to ramp up now and start to get a little more intense with their training, leading into semifinals and quarterfinals. But for the most part, I don't think Hatfield is washed. I think this is just a byproduct of smart training, where Hatfield is working on his weaknesses, Hopper's working on his weaknesses, and it just so happened to be that Hatfield in a high squat redundant workout did not do very well compared to the field, and Hopper did really well because that's what he's been training a lot of. And so that's what I think probably happened. I could be wrong. I don't exactly know what Hatfield is doing for his training, and I have an inkling of what Hopper's doing just based off of Instagram posts and YouTube videos that I've seen. So yeah, let me know what you think. I think that's all I have. So yeah, okay.